Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Manchester United have thrashed Ipswich Town at Ellenborough 6-0. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. Manchester City are basically back, or they are not back, it doesn't matter, but this was a performance of all Manchester City, the Manchester City that we all know and we have known for the last decade or so. They were simply exceptional in that game. Ipswich Town, unfortunately for them, they were on the receiving end of that thrashing, that hammering from Manchester City. You just knew that there was going to be one particular game where City are going to come back, and they're going to come back stronger, whether it's because of the players that are coming in, that the players have started, they've gotten the confidence that finally there has been an investment of some sort, or whether it was against an Ipswich side who are really struggling, or whatever the reason was. You just saw the glimpse of what Manchester City can really do, and they can really hurt anybody when they really want to. 3 goals in the first half, 4 in with a brace, and then 3 goals in the second half. I've been saying this. I said this about 2-3 weeks ago, that the problem at Manchester City has been that they are so much reliant on Erling Haaland. When Haaland doesn't score, the entirety of that team is not scoring. They need to find other goal scorers, and the one person that I really pointed out was Phil Foden. And luckily for Phil Foden, and luckily for Manchester City, and good for Manchester City, that Foden has now scored 4 goals in the last 2 games. He scored a brace in the game against Brentford, and he now scored a brace against the game against Ipswich in this game as well. So he's starting to, he's finally scoring goals, and that is a big plus for Manchester City, because when you become reliant on one player, it doesn't matter even if it is Erling Haaland, the robot that everybody likes to call him. Even if you are so much reliant on him, you are going to have problems. There are problems on the other parts of the pitch, but the main problem was that Manchester City were not being able to score the goals. And now you can see when the other players score the goals, how much it helps the team. Today I think Haaland scored just 1 single goal. That just shows you when the goals are distributed, it becomes easy for everybody, and he would be really happy. Guardiola, finally, I think I saw him smile after almost 2-3 months now. Today he was really smiling, and I think that this was needed for Manchester City, not just because of the points, but they needed to show that dominance, that we are still here, we can still come and hurt everybody. And I think with the way the new players coming in, especially if Omar Marmoush comes in, if you have been following my channel, you know how much I like him. I think he's a really great player, Omar Marmoush. He's going to come in at Manchester City. Will he be successful? That's a different question. But if he becomes successful, I think it's going to be a really dangerous thing for the rest of the Premier League. City are the team, type of team that can go from here and win the title. Let's be very honest, they still have the capability to go ahead and do that. I think it's going to be really hard for them to win the title, but I think they are going to qualify for the Champions League. They might come in and surprise everybody, and go on a 20-game winning streak and shock everybody up. But I still don't think it's going to happen. I still think it's early. They had a great game. They had a dominating performance. They were perfect in every way that you could have expected for them. No defensive errors today as well. They just went and they steamrolled Ipswich. Unfortunately for Ipswich, it had to be them on the receiving end of Manchester City's hammering. But City were exceptional. A really great game for them, and they would hope that the new signing comes in and they can now really kickstart this season yet again and try to finish as high as possible. And if that, it means that they are going to be champions, so let's be it. I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the next set of games. They're going to play in the Champions League midweek, so after that, when they come back to the league, I think it's going to be quite exciting. Coming back to Ipswich, this could have been, was probably the worst thing that would have happened to Ipswich. I said the same thing before as well. Now, because the league is so tight, and every single team, every single game matters. There are like 5 or 6 teams in the relegation battle at the moment, in my opinion, and Ipswich of course are in that in that category. I think you could lose a game against Manchester City. I think everybody expected them to lose, but I think the big problem for Ipswich and the fans is going to be that the manner in which they lost. I don't think that they played to their potential. That's the first thing. And the second thing is the scoreline. I think that -6, that's conceding 6 goals, is not going to be it's going to be a really big problem. It's not a really great thing for them. You need to make sure that you don't concede so many goals. Of course, nobody really wants to concede so many goals, but when you are so in such a peculiar situation where you're fighting tooth and nail for your survival in the Premier League. I know it's just 22 games. There's still 16 games to go by, but the games are going to come thick and fast, and they're going to just pass you by, and you cannot drop points. That's the first thing. But if you're losing points, you need to make sure losing him, you need to make sure that at least it's respectable, and that you don't mess up your goal difference, because it's gonna come in. And I keep on saying this, and I think this season in the entirety of Europe there are going to be so many important things that are going to be decided decided based on the goal difference, whether it's in Italy, whether it's in Spain, whether it's in Germany, France, or in England as well. I think whether they qualify for Europe or become champions or they get relegated, I think some of the major decisions are going to be decided based on goal difference. And the teams who are conceding goals like this and who are losing games like this, I think they are going to be on the receiving end. Maybe Ipswich are going to look back at this game against Manchester City and they're going to say, I think that, oh, maybe we conceded 6 goals against City, and that is why our goal difference is so bad, and that is why maybe because of 1 or 2 goals they are going to get relegated. It could really happen because of how tight the scenario is at the moment. So I think losing is one thing, they are going to be sad about that, but losing in such a way, it is humiliating to concede 6 at home. That doesn't matter what your position in the league is, you never want to concede 6 at home. And then the fact that it's going to affect their goal difference so much, I think that is going to be another a disadvantage, another setback for Ipswich today. I think it was a complete disastrous day for Ipswich Town, especially if you look at other results. I mean, Everton defeated Everton defeated Tottenham Hotspur, so that is one team that that got a major 3 points, and they're starting to get away from them. Crystal Palace already I have gotten away from the rest of the pack, so it is it's starting to really become a problem for Ipswich and some of the teams at the bottom, that they need to solve this out. And Ipswich could not have asked for a worse result for them, if I'm being very honest with you. City, as I said already, it was a great performance for them, and they would hope that they continue. The question is when these all the new signing are gonna come in, and when they're gonna start playing. That's I'm really intrigued about. I'm really sad that Umar Marmoush is going to Manchester City, because I really like him as a player, and I really hope that Arsenal are going to go ahead and sign him. And the thing for me, the thing regarding Marmoush is that he's one of those players that he sort of remind me of like a Jack Grealish, who has been who is invisible. He has been lost in the pack at Manchester City, and I think Umar Marmoush could be one of those players that he comes to City and he's unable to reach the heights that he's doing at the moment with Frankfurt. But I hope, as I said, I like him as a player, and I hope he does well at City. But it will be interesting to see what happens and when that transfer is announced, because I think it's imminent at the moment, and I think that is going to be that could turn out to be a very smart signing by Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. That could really turn their season around. So yeah, great day for Manchester City, a disastrous day for Ipswich Town. That's it from me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys thought of Manchester City's performance. Do you think it is going to help them come back in the league, or do you think it is just a one-off? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers as quickly as possible, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.